Hi, Angela Thoma here with Dogwood Paper Arts. Welcome back. Glad to have you here. Today I'm working on the cover of my journal for the Songs of Spring nature journal that I'm working on. And I have chosen to use Craft Text. It's a kind of a paper, but it feels like leather or fabric. And I have decided to go kind of with this idea. I was going to do lace and stuff on it, and then I thought, well, how fun. Let's see if we can punch through it with one of these. And so I did, and this is an EK success. It punched through it fine. I have some that I don't think would punch through it at all. It is a little tight. But to keep it as even as possible, I started it right on the marker line on the inside of the tool here, inside of the punch. And then I just worked my way the same direction on both sides. I had to do the front on one side and the back on the other. But with this punch, it didn't matter. Some punches, they leave kind of an impression as well, but this one did not. So it worked out just fine in punching the Craft Text. Here I have a chipboard that I have just applied coffee dyed paper to. This is just regular paper that you put through your printer, your copy machine. And then I cut out this from this bird and from an Edith Holden book. And I decided that I'm going to place it on here. Now I'm going to have to leave room or apply my metal corner things before I put this down, because I'm afraid it might get in the way. I guess we could find out. Let me grab I think I have them right here. This is them. Nope. Oh, here they are. Maybe this is them. I have some little corner rounders here. So these, it may not matter. Oh yeah, that's going to fit fine. So I can still apply this before I put these corner rounders on it. And I think those will look really nice on there. And it will give it some stability in the book. There'll be two on the front, two on the back. So I'll go ahead and pull out some of those so I remember that that's what I'm using. And what else? Today we're going to use soft gel matte medium. This is a golden. I like the way that it applies things to other pieces of paper. And it's matte, so it shouldn't get a shine or a gloss to it. If it does, we may have to sand it a little bit, because I do want it to be in the matte color. But this will also protect this Edith Holden cutout here, because it's a little fragile. You know, a lot of thin line cuts and stuff. I fussy cut the whole thing, and then on the inside here, these little pieces where I had to cut inside and right there, I used an X-Acto knife. So we are going to do that today. Now let me show you the rest of this. This measures, oh, where is my measure? Well, let me measure down here because, hang on. It measures just over 13.5 this way. And then this way it measures 9 3/16 it looks like. It should have been 9 1/4. Excuse me. I like my signatures to go over my, hang on, I'm grabbing the books here, the signatures. I like my book to have my cover to be at least 1/4 of an inch all the way around, at least. But, you know, by the time you get the book built and made, you know, it's hard to say. I won't put these edges on until I get it sewn and stuff, and we'll make sure that it's not hanging over by gobs. So then I took a look at, sorry about all the ums today. I have had a whopping migraine. And I'm making myself come in here today because I don't know what else to do. Taking all my meds. So, anyway, you get my ums. I marked off my spine here, and I marked off a 2-inch spine in the center of my book. So I have my 2-inch spine. Then I allowed myself 1 inch from that for lace or whatever. Now originally I had picked a brown lace to put over this cover and then a green trim to go under that. It looked great and I loved it, but it really didn't work for me for being a nature journal. So that's when I pulled out the yellow craft text and decided that I would make this as my spine. Now before I apply this, I will probably sew in my signatures and then I will hide them underneath here. Now originally I had cut this to fit this 4 inches. But it was by the time you cut off the edges, it was too small. You can see there that it's, well, maybe. Here's my pencil line, and here's what got cut off of the fabric, or the paper, off the craft text. So that didn't work. I had to go back and make this a 1/4 inch wider so that it would cover these lines that I have drawn on here. I could take those off too, but it gives me a guideline of where I'm going to adhere my craft text. So my 1 inch line is, let me grab something that I can point with. My 1 inch line is now right at these little pieces where it comes up on both sides, and that works out good for me. So this is really 4 1/4 inches, and that allowed for what gets cut off of here, 1/8 on each side. So that worked good. Now I still want to sew all the way around this, and since I am putting this in as my extra piece of spine, I'm not going to really need to reinforce this too much. On the inside I may add a little something, but you know, I really don't think I need to. I may use a thin piece of chipboard under this one, so when I apply it, it's stiffer. I haven't gotten there yet. It's kind of one of those things that you just have to think about for a little bit. But I know that I want to put this on here. Now, because these don't have a way to slide something in and out, I'm going to have to be clever and think up what I want to go inside of here. Maybe just the words journal, or spring, or nature maybe. Nature would be a really good one. So I will be applying that too, but I'll do that on camera. I like to apply mine with brads, but I did see Pam at the Paper Outpost. She did something really neat, and she put a whole piece of paper on the back here and glued it down. I think that's an excellent idea. And I will probably be using that, but I do want to put a piece of clear plastic down first, and then maybe the words nature is what we'll put in there. So then we'll, since that'll have paper on it, we'll be able to glue the whole thing down well, and then I will go ahead and put brads in here before I apply this spine covering. So I think that's going to look really neat. The other thing I need to do before I apply this and this, I need to put my closure down through here. I'm probably going to use a ribbon or a piece of fabric. I do have this beautiful Tim Holtz fabric, and I think it would make a really nice closure to this. Of course, it will be much thinner. You know how we are. But I think that'll look really nice under there. I think it will work out pretty good. I'll have to sew that too. Hi, puppy dog. How are you today? You're good? Oh, good. I'm so glad you're being a good girl in here. Let's move my video cord so you don't tangle up in it. Are you saying hi to everybody? Libby says hello. She's a black lab and she's the baby of the house. So today this is just a short to show you what we're up to with this. And I'll probably put this piece with the next piece of video. So let's move this totally out of the way. I do need to iron this down too, because it comes in a roll and it's very lumpy. But I did want to show that to you. So let's put our gel medium down. Oh, I should probably ink this just a little bit. So let me grab another piece of wax paper and set this down. So those of you that have been following me know that I've been having a little problem with my cat, Luigi, in here. He took up biting and chewing on everything he could find. And I didn't know what to do with him, I was really getting frustrated. I need to see if this is coming through on the front. Nope. So yesterday I was thinking about it, and I realized what his problem was that I had taken his tower out of here. He has a padded tower. So yesterday I went out and got the padded tower, the extra one we have, and I put it back in here, and he came in, jumped up in his tower, and went to sleep for the rest of the day yesterday. So he was just mad at me for taking his tower out, I guess. So let that be a lesson to me. He likes his tower. I know he likes it. So, anyway. Some of these pieces that go out further that aren't so tiny, I'm just so afraid I'm going to break it. Did I bring a second one of these out? I thought I did. I think I need to re-ink. I thought I pulled my second distressing ink out, but maybe not. Let's try it this way. It's just so fragile, I don't want to break it. So, here we go, round the tail, round the feathers, round the wings, around the limbs. It does not have to be a perfect covering. You can see my limbs and stuff are bending. And I really don't want to bust them up. If I do, I'll put them back together, but I'm hoping not to. Well, that's working okay. Ooh, be careful, Ange. Okay, that's good enough. I'm not going to do any more to it because I'll break it. Okay, let's put that back so it's out of my way. Now let's bring this back. I'm just going to flip that over because I don't want any more of the ink than I need. And oh boy, I did make it weak in some areas. These are my brushes I use for my gesso and my mediums. I just keep water here and I toss them in it. So I'm just going to kind of pat this gel medium on here. Am I on camera? Now I am. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of pat it on here because I don't want to bust this. And since I know I'm going to just do the whole thing, I don't really need to worry about it being, as long as I haven't glued it down flat here. Got an extra piece of paper there I don't need. So if you're doing something like this, just be careful when you pull it up. that you don't stick it together front to back, and that you don't bust it up. So now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go ahead and apply some more gel medium. Now that I got that off of there. And if your gel medium's a little damp, a little too thick, when you put it down on paper, you can always wet your brush and come back in. Just a little bit. Wet it, dab it off. And that'll help spread your gel medium. Mine's old, so I should get some new stuff, I suppose. And I prefer my lines to go a little this way, a little that way. Makes it look more like a painting. This stuff dries pretty fast, so I may not be getting it down there fast enough. But even at that, it'll strengthen it. The birds. The birds will have strength. Yeah, it already dried. So I'll go back and pat some more on it. I'm going to keep my hand in here a little bit. Let's start with that top part. Well, I should have started at the bottom actually, so I would know exactly where I needed it. Nope, that's not right. Nope. Whoops. And if you get little lumps, we'll be able to come back and fix those in just a minute. Oh my goodness. It's not going on right at all. Okay. Use my stiffer brush a little bit. Didn't really want to wet this paper too much but I'm going to have to get my gel medium to settle back down. So maybe what I'm going to need to do here is apply a little bit of glue to this as I go. So I'm going to start at the bottom and get it set where I want it, because I want my bird on here the correct way. I want it to look nice, and it's offset a little bit. The bird is more over this way, which is fine, because I don't want him as the center anyway, you know. Okay, now I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Hope I'm in camera. Yes, I am. Oh, look at that, I broke it. Oh, and, well, guess I shouldn't do things when I have a massive brain fog. Definitely would have preferred just to use the gel medium because it's not as it won't show up all around like the glue will. But that did not work so well, did it? Because this has so many little things on it. But once I get it down, I can gel medium over it. So that went a little different than I wanted it to, but I think it's okay. It's not as perfect as I was hoping for. So I'm just going to mush that glue right down with it. And we'll see what happens. It's an experiment now, isn't it? And I am just barely dipping that in my water up there. And then into the gel medium after that. It just gives it a little bit of room to make the gel medium move. Libby, get out of the garbage. No, get out of the garbage. Mom doesn't have time to wrestle with you right now. So you're going to have to be a good girl. Trying to just barely hold the edge, because wherever you hold the edge that is got gel medium on it, it's going to peel off from your thumb or finger and leave a glue mark. So there we go. I think we wrestled it around and I think it is going to come out fine. It does have a little gloss to it, a little more than I would like, but that will protect it. And that's mainly what I wanted, was protection for this. I'm not going to really worry about the sides too much. I'm just cleaning them up. So I'm going to let that dry, and then when it's good and dry, I will cover it with clean wax paper, this sandwich wax paper stuff I buy. I will put it front and back, and then I'm going to set my glass mat over it, because my glass mat is nice and heavy, and that's going to flatten it out good. Now, hopefully the kitty won't come in and hair it. Put your brushes that you used into water. I only use a tiny bit of water. So as my brush sits in there, it just comes up to the furls. I guess that's what you call them. I'm not sure. Can't remember anymore. I don't paint a lot anymore. So there we go, there's that. And I think we'll call it good for right now. When I come back, I will have this piece sewn, the cover sewn, and we'll apply this. And, well, we'll probably put in our signatures before. No, we'll apply that way before we do signatures. But when we come back, this will be stitched. I won't put this on until you're with me because it's going to be glued. And we'll put this on together. So, we'll be building the rest of the album together except for the sewing. Now, I haven't decided about the inside yet, whether or not I'm going to put pockets in here. Libby, no, bring it here. Now you give it. Piece of chipboard. No, get out of there. You're going to get a swat. You lay down. Lay down. Now you stay. Don't give me that look. No, lay down. You're in trouble. You lay down. You're in... No, lay down. I'm not going to pet you. You have to lay down. Don't give me that sad dog look. Lay down. Okay. Chipboard. You should see the rest of the floor. She got into my one of my boxes that is set up for another project. So anyway, when we come back, we will go over all this and we'll decide about a pocket and whether or not we want an inside cover. I really just like the mossy green. I think it's beautiful and it's perfect for a nature journal. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. I will catch you tomorrow and we will start working on our album, our journal again. Bye-bye for now. Bye.